App Planning for Success. Brought to you by Software Accelerator Playbook. On Instagram at S.A.Playbook. Today on the podcast, we are talking about how to get a solid quote for your app. Now, I accentuate solid because it's easy to get a loose quote. It's easy to get a bad quote. It's easy to get a quote that doesn't mean anything or misleads you. That's very easy. You could go to a development team and say, hey, I want to build an app like this. How much is it going to cost me? They'll, try their best to get an idea of what you need. And then from there, throw a number at you so that, hopefully you will, continue the conversation and keep moving forward. The last thing that they want to do is throw a number too high at you and then, scare you off. So more than likely, it'll probably be a smaller quote. And then what happens once you get going, once you get moving, then the quote's going to grow and grow and grow. Oh, you want this too? Okay, that's going to be an extra X dollars. Oh, you want that too? Okay, that's going to be an extra X dollars. So the difficulty with doing things this way is you really get misled from the beginning as far as, how much this thing is actually going to cost, because you're not asking super specifically for, I need exactly this. How much is this going to be? So in that way, you want to make sure that you are being very super clear when you're asking them, hey, I need, exactly this functionality. It's going to function like this. This is the database structure. These are the different pages. This is the mock-up showing you everything, how it's flowing through. These are the functions that are going to be sending in the background on a timer. These are the notifications that are going to be going out to people. These are the categorizations of people. All that detail really matters. And if you try to get a quote before going through that process of clarifying exactly what it is that you want, then it's just like asking for a house to be built, and you don't clarify how many rooms or what the square footage is. How much is the house going to cost me? Okay, well, how big of a house do you need? Oh, I don't know, just some kind of, I just need a house. How much is the house going to be? What? How many windows? How many doors? What quality of materials? What quality of workmanship? What's your deadline? There's like so many pieces that go into the full picture of what it's going to cost to make something. And then also there's different development teams that have different workers all over the world that have different requirements in terms of what they need, monthly for their bills, and so that drives up or down the cost, accordingly. It also depends on, how skilled the development team is. So you may have a team that's not quite as skilled, so they are, they're lower hourly, but then it takes them twice as long to complete it. So it's like, okay, well, was that actually a cheaper way of going, or was that actually more expensive and it took longer, which is more frustrating? And it wasn't done as well. So when you want to try to upgrade it in the future, there's more cleanup and there's more just baggage from the bad coding to have to clean up. So keep that in mind as you're moving forward, that if you're trying to get a quote too early without really clarifying what it is actually that you need in extreme detail, you are going to be misled. So if you want to get a solid quote, if you want to get a really, really solid quote, first of all, you should be asking lots of different development teams. And second of all, you should be extremely clear on exactly what it is that you intend to build. And the more clear that you can be, the easier it is for them to be able to scope it for you and really give you a much better quote. And then also later, there aren't all those questions about oh, wait, you wanted that feature? Oh, we have to talk about that feature too. It's really extremely difficult to be able to say every single piece of every single thing that you want, but the farther you can go down that road, the better, right? So you may not be able to put together, a plan that is, literally everything you need, and then there's no other questions at all. But certainly, you can get much, much, much more detailed than, even like a 2-page breakdown of like, okay, I need this and this section and this page does this and that. Every time you start peeling back the layers, there's even more discussion to be had. So even if you want like a search function, for instance, let's say you want a search function, you're interested in having, okay, so I want a search function for this page. Great. But what type of search function do you want? Do you want it to be like an autocomplete search? Do you want it to be a type of search where as soon as you start typing, then it immediately, pings the database and starts bringing entries back? So it's more of like it feels more alive and it's more like receptive as you're typing, versus if you type the whole thing through and then you press enter and then the whole page reloads. That's a different functionality. Now, that may be a small detail, but can you see what happens if you just say, hey, I just want a search functionality, and then the development team builds, the search functionality where it just like reloads the page, and then after you've paid for that, then you come back to them and say, okay, I like how it is, but I want it to be upgraded. I want it to be this like special type of search where it does autocomplete. In that case, you're paying for the development twice. You paid for it the first time to get it to be, a search functionality that would work once, when you press enter and then the information gets brought up on the page. But then you have to pay for it again once you've finally decided what it is that you want. So can you see how this is wasteful? That if you don't get clear from the get, then you end up, once you get the thing back in your hands, then you start going, oh, but no, I wanted it to be like that instead. Then you're paying for it again. You're paying for it twice, or maybe 1.5 times. The idea is that you're wasting money because you weren't fully clear from the beginning exactly how things should be done. Now, I understand that it's really, typically if you're asking for something, you feel like the other person's getting it, you feel like it's clear, you feel like, you're moving forward and the other person understands where you're at. And, for other things, that can be the case. But when you're crafting something from scratch, when you're crafting a system, there's so many details within that for the other person to just get it and know exactly what you want without you fully clarifying it, it's only a percentage of developers that will actually do it the way that you think, because we're all different. We all think different ways. We all assume different things. And so those assumptions are killer, in a bad way, killer in app development, that if the wrong assumption is made, then money is wasted. That's it. That's just straight up. If the wrong assumption is made, then money is wasted. And so the more that you can decrease those assumptions, get so clear that those assumptions are just not even going to be, an issue, because you're not even allowing them to assume. You are detailing exactly what needs to happen, that then you start getting back more of what you want. Then you're not chasing your tail and running around in circles back and forth with, oh no, we wanted this, oh no, we wanted this, oh no, we wanted this. That by going through that proper planning cycle and really being sure that you know what you're asking for, then allows you to save a ton of time and a ton of money in development. So if you want a solid quote, don't just start with, a 2-page, hey, here's, everything that I need. That's a fantastic start, by the way. That's more than some people give. But keep in mind that 2 pages can be transformed into a system where, you're showing them, here's the database that I want. Here's the relationships between the database tables. Here's how everything's interconnected. Here's all the different pages. Here's the functions on the different pages. Here's all the background functions that are running. Here's the timed functions that run every week or every day. Here's who should be notified. Here's how they're notified. Here's the way that I want the notification system to work. Here, I want to integrate a texting system. Okay, and here's how I want to do it. Do I need to have multiple countries? Or am I just sending texts to the US? Do I need to have an extra field that allows for country code because I'm sending text to the US and Canada and I need the system to accommodate that? Or am I just dealing with the US and I don't need you to accommodate country code? Every single text I'm going to be sending is going to be in the US, so don't even worry about it. Don't even build that piece. all those extra details. Yeah, you could start and just say like, hey, I need a texting system, and here's how it should work, and here's what should happen. But ultimately, as you start peeling back those layers, there's more to see. There's more to decide. There's more detail there that if you don't give the detail, it ends up being an assumption. And assumptions cost you money and cost you time and give you headaches. So the more that you can stay away from that and the more detailed you can get from the beginning, the better off you're going to be. Now, hey, if you need help with this, if you want help or guidance through this process, if you've already started your planning document, if you're already getting clear about what you need, but you want to make sure that you are extremely clear, and you're planning out the database structure too and everything like that, but you haven't gone through this before, you don't really know what you're doing, but you kind of have an idea, you have the vision, but you don't really know how to structure it, DM me at S.A.Playbook on Instagram, or send me an email at questions@saplaybook.com, and I'd love to help you. Let's chat tomorrow. Talk to you later.